fact, it's been quite a time that we actually had discussed something like this on the forums, but we have been very, very formal about education in this country. And when it came to the realities, and we started animation industry about 17 years ago, and the Indian film industry was reaching 100 years that time within the next 10 years. A lot of things and a lot of insights came to our mind, and that's where we started looking at some of the aspects very critically. At the same time, in 2010, when the NSDC was formed, and we thought now we have got our answers, because we come from the industry where we have 97.8% of our industry has never gone to the formal education. And about 87% of our industry is self-employed. So how do you really get to measure things, and how do you really address things? When it came to looking at, defining job roles, defining the national occupational standards, defining a large number of things, in the whole process, we need to realize that something that we're trying to do requires a level playing field. And the level playing field was never there, because when we formalized our education process in this country, we wanted to become an industrial nation, and we had put maths, botany, zoology, physics, chemistry, biology, history, geography, civics, economics, and English as the top 10 subjects. At the same time, you lived in the country which is very diverse in culture, nature, language, and socioeconomic forms. So that's where, having done that for about 67, 68 years, we needed to really see whether we require a course correction. And I'm very happy that the NSDC and the Media and Entertainment Skill Council has bring in that differentiator. The basic thing was that the creative industry, as Ika was saying, we never had a level playing field, because even today we don't have marks for anything that you do in the creativity, performance, like performing arts or sports, into the school curriculum. Till the 12th grade, everybody will tell you not to touch that or not to waste your time. Mind you, some of the best things have happened to this country only because those creative forms were alive. And that's one of the reasons that we realized that a country that has a great skill of storytelling, we might call it media and entertainment, we call it animation, we call it gaming or whatever. It's nothing but a business of storytelling and the skill of storytelling. And we form those storytelling skills in various forms. And how do we really address these issues? And that's why in the last 17 years that we actually tried to build this, we had a tough time. We went to several universities, and the deans, and even at the top level at AICT and UGC, when we approached them to start curriculums in animation, visual effects, and gaming, they sent us to the deans of engineering. Mind you, we kept telling them it's not engineering. It's not about engineering. It's not about learning computers. It's an enabler. Technology is an enabler. The skill you require is arts. And many of them told us that, the arts doesn't sell today. If you have a BA program, it will not sell. So we compromised. Somebody started animation engineering, and we objected to that. And then somebody started BSc in animation, and we feel that we are still compromised, and we are at that stage at this point in time. But what happened with Media and Entertainment Skill Council, as well as the NSDC, showed us the way forward, that we actually can work together to bring the whole ecosystem in a more constructive form. What we are required to do is to look at the design. What we are required to do is the institutional design. And when I say institutional design, there are still a huge amount of things that we need to really work upon to make the scale happen. How do you make the scale happen? Because we have industry in this country which are very regional language based, and many of these skills that we have, who have never gone to the school or anything, they have learnt on job. The makeup person, we met the person who makes up Rajnikant every time. What a skill, and he learned it from his father and uncle. And can you replace that? And something like that we try to do in this industry is something people have learned on the job, and 97% people have learned it on the job. And that's why when you try to institutionalize, we need to look at some very critical aspects at how do you scale it. And that's when we also have another hurdle looking at validation of our national occupational standards, because they said that we need to have institutions. And we said that we have Mani Ratnam, we have Kamal Hassan, we have Subhash Ghai, we have Raju Hirani, who have certified and validated the skills. And they said that they are individuals, and I said that they are institutions. So we need to really see as to what our institutional design is. And if we are able to change the institutional design in a very constructive form and bring about the respect and a level playing field for people to be empowered with the certification which can actually be parallel to the very formal university education system, we will be able to create people not for the universities or prepare them to go into the university, but to prepare them to look after the universe in the creative way. And that's where we are concentrating at this point in time, as to look at how we can actually channelize most of these pockets who don't believe. They have unions in every single city. That what we have is Chennai, Hyderabad, Trivandrum, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Kolkata. And because of the news industry, now we have Delhi as a media and a film city. We face this problem because when the whole auctions for radio happened, there were no schools teaching you radio. It just happened. 300, 600 channels just started. We have the third phase coming up. Where do you bring the skills from? You just kind of do it from the general audience and people who kind of look at, or they have their speaking skills or whatever. But what we realize is that we need to really see that only one skill is not possible to really take you forward. You need to own multiple skills. You need to have embedded entrepreneurship skill, because 87% of our industry is self-employed. So every time you have to sell yourself to be on the part of the project. At the same time, you need to have a language skill along with the skill that you own. So how do you really package this? And I see that with the whole movement that we are doing right now, we still have a lot of issues because not many training people are there at this point in time. And we have not translated our national occupational standards and QPs and many other things that we are designing to all the languages that it can go till the bottom of the pyramid that we are talking about. And I think it's going to take us about another 2-3 years where we consolidate and do the foundation of the institutional design that we have to provide skills parallel to the university and the formal education process, and look at the respect that we can create with the pre-existing skills certification. If we are able to build the army of pre-existing skill certification, especially in the industry like us, it will give a big boost and people will look forward to come to the vocational areas. And I think that's the story that we need to follow. Thank you very much.